So you type a few words into an AI, and then what? What actually happens inside that black box? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on Amazon Bedrock and demystify that entire process, from your prompt all the way to a finished response.
And let's be honest, it feels like straight-up magic, right? You ask a question, and boom, a story, a picture, even a chunk of code appears out of thin air. But it's not magic. There's a real process behind it, and that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, so this whole magic trick has a name. It's called inference. That's the technical term for the moment the AI takes your input, your prompt, and actually generates something new. You could call it the AI's thinking process. This is where all the action happens. And what can you create? Well, pretty much anything you can imagine. We're talking text for summaries, chat, or even code, all the way to generating brand new images and videos from scratch. And then there's this really cool thing called embeddings. It's a bit technical, but just think of it as the way the AI understands the vibe or the meaning behind your words. It's the secret sauce that powers things like smart search and those eerily good recommendations you get. But here's where it gets really interesting. You're not just passively throwing a prompt into the void and hoping for the best. No, you can actually take control. With Amazon Bedrock, you get to be the director of your own AI movie. And how do you direct? By adjusting something called inference parameters. Seriously, just picture a big control panel with all these dials and levers. That's what these parameters are. They let you fine-tune exactly how the model responds. Let's talk about my favorite dial, temperature. This is, hands down, the creativity dial. Check this out. If you set the temperature low, the AI plays it safe. You say, I hear the hoofbeats of, and it says, horses, the most obvious, predictable answer. But what happens if we crank that temperature dial way up? The AI gets a little wild, a little more creative. Now, those hoofbeats might belong to unicorns? See the difference? You're telling it how much risk to take. So, temperature is one big control, but you've got others for managing randomness, like top K and top P. Now, without getting too deep in the weeds, just know that AI models think in word fragments called tokens. Both top K and top P are just different methods for telling the model, hey, for your next word, only choose from this specific pool of possibilities. It's just another way to dial in that perfect balance between a straightforward response and something a bit more out there.
And it's not just about creativity. You have some really practical controls too. You can tell the model exactly how long you want the response to be. You can penalize it for repeating itself, which is super useful. And you can even give it a stop sequence, a specific word or phrase that tells the model, okay, you're done, stop writing now. All right, so we've got all these cool knobs and levers to play with. But where do we actually find this control panel? Well, in Bedrock, you've basically got two main places to work.
First up, you have the console playgrounds. Think of this as your literal sandbox. It's a graphical interface, totally user-friendly, where you can just play. Test out different models, mess with all those parameters we just talked about, all without writing a single line of code. Then, when you're ready to get serious and actually build something, you move over to the API. That's how you plug this power directly into your own applications. It's the real deal. Scalable, automated, and ready for production.
And seriously, here's a pro tip for you. Always start in the playground. I mean it. Get in there, experiment, break things, find the model that works for you, get your settings just right. Doing that first will save you so much time and headache when you actually start coding.
Okay, playtime's over. You've dialed in your settings in the sandbox, and you know exactly what you want the AI to do. Now it's time to put it to work for real. Let's talk about the code. When you get to the API, you've got a couple of choices, but the two big ones you'll use most are Invoke Model and Converse. The way to choose is super simple. Think of it like this. Invoke Model is like sending a single email. You ask a question, you get one answer. Done. Converse, on the other hand, is like a text message chat. It's designed for back-and-forth conversation where the AI needs to remember what you just said. Easy, right?
Now, I know the phrase API call can sound a little scary if you're not a hardcore developer, but trust me, we're going to break down a simple invoke model call, and you'll see it really only boils down to 3 key pieces. It's way less complicated than it sounds.
Think of it like a recipe with 3 ingredients. First, you need the model ID. That's just telling Bedrock which AI model to use. Second, the prompt. That's your instruction, what you want it to do. And third, the invoke command. That's the part that says go.
All right, step 1, choose your model. This line of code here is just a variable. We're telling the program, hey, the model we want to talk to is this one, Amazon Titan Text Premier. That's it. Simple as that.
Step 2, write the prompt. This is what we're actually asking the AI. In this case, it's a classic hello world question. This is our input for that whole inference thing we talked about earlier.
And step 3, make the call. This is the final command. See how it uses the model ID and the body, which contains our prompt? This one line of code bundles it all up and sends it over to Bedrock to do its thing.
And boom, just like that, you've just programmatically asked a super powerful foundation model to generate a response for you. See? Not so scary.
So there you have it. We've gone from a simple what-if question all the way to a real working API call. Now let's bring it all home. What does all this mean for you?
Let's do a quick lightning round recap. 1. Inference is just the fancy word for the AI generating a response. 2. Parameters like temperature are your creative controls. You're the director. 3. Use the playground to experiment and the API to build. And 4. An API call is just 3 simple parts: a model ID, a prompt, and the invoke command. Got it? Good.
So we've pulled back the curtain and shown you the fundamentals of how you turn a simple prompt into a real response on Amazon Bedrock. You now have the building blocks, you understand the process. The only question left is, what are you going to create? Now that you've got the keys to the kingdom, what's the first amazing thing you're going to build?